Hey there, if you want to make more sales, then you are in the right place because this is 4-Minute Friday, which is my weekly vodcast, I guess you'd call it, where I take 4 minutes on a Friday to share with you a sales tip, a strategy or tactic or something that'll help you close more business. My name is Brian Conway. I'm the creator of a program called Top Line Transformation, which does just that. And as I said, each week I talk about a particular tactical strategy from that program that I believe will help you make more sales. And usually they are based on something that's happened during the week. So this week I was running a presentation skills class, and I got a message from one of the attendees the day after the class, because during the class they worked on their presentation to basically rework a standard presentation that they typically use. And there was one particular tactic that this individual implemented that they said on the very next day when they presented their new version of that presentation, they got significantly greater results. They just felt the engagement was better. The outcome of that meeting was significantly greater. They felt they really moved the needle with regards to closing deals and moving some of the opportunities that they're working on, moving them forward. So I want to share with you one specific thing that they did. And it was to do with objective setting. And I know some of you will be rolling your eyes and go, oh God, yeah, I know we've got to set a smart objective and all that sort of stuff. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about setting an objective that has a very clear, what I call CTA, a call to action. So an objective that actually means something happens at the end of that meeting. Too many people, when they're presenting particularly, I'll ask, what's your objective of this presentation? And they will say, oh, I want them to have a better understanding of what we sell and what we do. I said, well, how do you know, one, that they have an understanding, first of all? I assume you're not going to test them at the end of the presentation or meeting. But better, when you say better than what? What is their understanding now? I say, so it's too vague. So you're better off setting objectives that actually have some kind of measurable outcome and action that somebody can take, because then you can go, did they take it or didn't they? Now, that's just one element, but there's a second part to this that's really important. And this is sharing and articulating your objective for any meeting, demo, presentation, or whatever it might be, right up front. Setting the expectation of that prospective customer at the end of your time together. Too often people will do a presentation, do a meeting, and at the end, then they will say, so what I'd like you to do now is maybe come into our demo center, or we'll set up a follow-up meeting, or we'll come and do a site visit, or whatever's the appropriate next step in the revenue roadmap, in the sales process. And then the customer or prospective customer will go, okay, well, need to think about it, and I'll get back to you. And we kind of lose control. So what you're better doing is at the beginning of the meeting is saying, so today I want to talk about this, and this, whatever it might be. Or if it's a meeting, I want to find out a little bit more about what your needs are, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what we can do and how we may be able to achieve those needs. But at the end of this meeting, what I'd like is your commitment to do X, or I'd like us to agree to do Y, or typically what we'll then do is Z, whatever the next step might be. When you set that up front, you set the expectation. It changes the way your audience engages with you in that meeting or presentation. They are significantly more attentive. They are now not waiting till the end and saying, okay, let me think about it. They are thinking about it during the presentation, because they know, because you've set the expectation that at the end of that presentation, meeting or demo or whatever it is, that you are going to be asking them to make that decision. So they listen differently, they engage differently, and they're thinking throughout that presentation. And therefore, at the end, they can make that decision, which means you can typically move the sale forward much more effectively. And this is one of the reasons why one of my 3 goals is to close deals faster. And that is how you typically can, because customers are kind of more in tune with what it is they're trying to achieve and can make decisions faster based on what you expect of them. So it's a subtle but it's a really important change. And it was that objective and setting and the objective sharing that this one individual said made a huge difference in just the way the whole meeting ran, compared to the same presentation that they'd used numerous times before. And in fact, said just 2 days before that, I'd run the first, version 1 of that presentation before we reworked it in the class, and no outcome, just kind of thanks by sort of kind of ending, as opposed to the day after the training, significantly better outcomes. So I just wanted to share that with you, just to remind us sometimes of the fundamental skills that are proven to work, and that is to do with setting very specific objectives, keep saying objectives, and then sharing that objective very explicitly with your customer at the beginning of any meeting, presentation, or demo. Right, trust you found that useful. Please do comment, let me know your thoughts, what you do to get more effective meetings. Please like and share and subscribe. All that sort of stuff is always appreciated as well. And I look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, have a lovely weekend. And then next week, have a great week of selling. I'm Brian Conway. This has been 4 Minute Friday. Take care.